Hey, Connie. Hey, Connie dog. Hey, y'all, look. Hey. Oh, there it is. Play the banjo. Play the banjo. That's the spot. Are you a sweet big boy? Yes. I'm getting a cup of late afternoon coffee, and I'm about to head outside and stick my plants out for the next couple hours for hardening off, and just kind of double check on how everything is doing after the freeze of last night. I watered everything this morning before the sun hit it, and when I went out midday, I could definitely see some damage, but I don't think anything died, and that's good. But I'm gonna check it now and kind of just see what we're looking at later in the day. You wanna go outside? Guys, we're getting so many eggs, and they're so pretty. Look at this. This bucket is like almost full. Do you ever just eat or drink something, and as soon as you just take a drink of it or a bite of it, it's like you're overwhelmed with joy? This coffee just totally did that for me. It's not always the case, but sometimes, like some mornings specifically, I'll be like so looking forward to that cup of coffee. When I take the first drink, I'm like, oh yes. Like I'm like having a little praise break in my heart over this coffee right now. You know about that, Bear? Does your kibble do that to you? All right, into my garden, post-freeze. Now this was what I was admittedly the most concerned about, was the beans. Because beans are super frost tender. These were volunteer beans, and there definitely was some damage here. Some of the foliage. Now I watered them this morning, and I feel like the ones I watered like more heavily did a little better. I think some of them I did not water them for long enough. But overall, most of these look pretty good. Definitely more damage down here. This is where I watered real light. But as you can see, like on each plant, though there's some damage, there are also still good leaves. So the plants will live here. Having foliar damage is like, I mean, it can stink. It can cause your plants to stunt. But for the most part, that won't cost you the harvest. So, I mean, I mean, they look sad, and I feel bad for them, but they'll be okay. They'll pull through. Oh, it's nice out right now, nice and warm, and I'm gonna go ahead and move all of these trays out, and they'll be out here for the next 2 hours or so until dark, and then we'll put them back in. I do have a video about hardening off that I put up a couple weeks ago. I'll link it down below, kind of explaining the process of gradually introducing your plants that have been started in a controlled environment, like a greenhouse or indoors, about introducing them to the elements. And that's what I'm doing right now. I had started that process. I did not put them out last night or yesterday evening, because the temperatures had dropped. Y'all, some of my tomato plants are ridiculously tall. Like seriously, look at this. Look at this. This plant is probably like 27 inches. Super tall. This isn't ideal. This is just because these probably need to be planted out about a week and a half ago. And they're just crowding each other out in the greenhouse for light. But with tomato plants, you plant them super deep anyway, so it doesn't really matter. For the most part, even though they're really tall, their stems are strong. There are a couple that you can see here. I would classify these as really leggy, because they're not really standing up easily. Again, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna plant them deep, and it will not hurt anything as far as their harvest goes. Oh, I forgot one tray. I'm gonna stick those out there too. They do look happy, I think. Oh, look at that. I just love variegated foliage for whatever reason. It just makes me so happy. It brings me so much joy. Look at that. Do you have things that you just can't not stop and all at? Like I cannot go past like a variegated plant, especially one that's real like flashy, like real stark contrast in the variegation. I can't just walk past it. I have to stop and say, oh, look, a variegated plant. And if it's for sale, I buy it. Like, look at this variegated mint I got. Isn't that fascinating? And down here, a variegated, what was this? Oregano, I think. So the peppers are gonna stay out here for right now. And actually, like, I have some eggplants and some flowers that are a little bit, like I could go ahead and start hardening them off and transplant them. But right now I'm just gonna focus on getting my tomatoes processed, and hopefully I can get them in the ground this weekend. See, today's Wednesday. I think that that would be responsible to go ahead and get them in the ground this weekend. And then after that, I'll focus on hardening these other things off like next week. Look at all these plants, guys. That's so crazy. I'm happy to report that my mild covering worked great for my tomato plants. I have no damage on them. And the basil's pulled through, and the sunflowers. It looks like everything that I either covered or that I got out here and watered this morning is fine with minimal damage. Hey, hey. There's another little one. Guys, homegrown strawberries are just something else. I just ate that tiny one, and the amount of flavor in that tiny little berry is just different than anything you can buy at the store. So good. They don't taste as good later in the season. These early ones just seem to be completely amazing. Hey, sweet Maya.
Strawberry?
Mm-hmm. A little strawberry blessing.
Did you already get one?
Yeah, I did.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Y'all, I just walked past this tree. My kids, there's these little pine cone bird feeders my kids made with my mom. There's a chain in this platform. My kids literally spend, I don't know, they spend a significant amount of time every day in this tree. Both of my grandmothers had magnolia trees in their front yards. And when we found this property, we had looked at one right before it that had a magnolia tree in the front yard. And I was like, oh, it moves my heart. It's just like my grandmother and my nanny's houses. And it was this big, beautiful, lush magnolia tree. And we tried to get that property, and we weren't able to get it. The offer, somebody else had offered an offer right before ours, and it had been accepted. And when we found this house, my heart was so disappointed that I was very shut down to it. And it had this magnolia tree in the front yard that looked dead. Like, that tree looked so bad when we first moved here. I mean, really bad. And I mean, it didn't look like it was gonna live at all. I had like this little ball of leaves in the middle, and then just these bare branches. And we came and we pruned it back, and it came back to life, and it blooms now, and my kids spend a significant amount of time climbing it. And that tree always reminds me that sometimes you get your dream, but it doesn't look beautiful. Sometimes whenever your dream is handed to you, it needs somebody to love it back to dream status. And when I look at that tree now, I'm glad we were those people. Hey, Mercy girl. Look at this beauty getting so big. Look at her. She's so dainty. And here's Mr. McKenzie. And he will headbutt you to get his bottle. And there's Pearly girl. Hey, Pearl. They've realized I don't have bottles on me, so they quickly lost attention in me. Let's take a quick look in here. Y'all want to see what a week and a half can do to little chicks? Isn't that crazy? They're almost fully feathered. Hey, you nasties. Come on, that's gross. Hey, babies. Hey, babies. So if you missed it in a previous vlog, these are our white Marins, black copper Marins, and Americana chicks we got from Murray McMurray Hatchery. I've been thoroughly enjoying my colorful egg basket as the spring has started up, and the chicks from last spring have really thoroughly started to lay. And one of the things we wanted to do was go ahead and add more of those colorful layers. So all of these pullets will lay a dark chocolate egg or a blue egg. Now, blue egg laying genetics are dominant. So if you have two dominant blue genes in a purebred Americana or a crested cream leg bar, and you take that bird and you cross it with something else, like any brown layer, you'll end up with one dominant blue laying gene and then the one brown gene. And since the color gene is dominant, it overrides the brown gene, and you'll end up with what we call an Easter egger. So if you put an Americana rooster over any hen that is any brown or white layer, any of the hens that hatch from those eggs will lay a colorful egg. Now, if you cross that chick, again, you have like a 50% chance of getting a colorful egg. So you need that one dominant gene in order to get the colored eggs. So what I want to move to doing, which is what I've done in the past, is that I will have a flock where I have lots of hens that lay a variety of colored eggs. Some will lay blue eggs, some will lay lighter brown eggs, some will lay white eggs, some will lay the dark chocolate brown, like the Marins will lay that. And then I will keep all Americana roosters. So that means if I gather blue eggs from my flock, I know that they have the blue gene their mother gave them, and they'll have a blue gene that their father gave them, so they'll be colored eggs. If I gather dark brown eggs from my flock, they'll have the dark brown gene that their mother gave them, and the blue gene that the roux gave them, and they'll lay a darker green egg. And that's how I like to do it, where I can always hatch out eggs to have like rainbow chicks without having to keep like a lot of pure breeding and all that. So essentially what you're doing is optimizing a barnyard mix when you do it that way, where you keep Americana roosters, or crested cream lug bar roosters would work. Just a blue laying breed is what you want. And you can put those roosters over your whole flock and save the eggs. And if you sell hatching eggs, you can sell them as rainbow hatching eggs, because you know all of those eggs are going to produce chicks, and the hens will all lay some sort of color, either blue or green. So we won't start getting eggs from all of these girls until they're about 18 to 20 weeks old. Sometimes it can take a little longer than that on these breeds, but like a production breed, like a Red Comet or Isa Brown or something like that, those lay early. That's where you're gonna start getting into lay at like 15 to 18 weeks. Those can take as much as like 26 weeks. So I'm not really banking on getting a ton of eggs from those girls this season, but they will be really hitting their peak lay in spring. Hey guys. Oh. So we opened up the fence to give all of the goaties access to this whole back pasture. And Gabriel's crossing paths with Bear some, so they're having some dominance conversations. Hey goats. Hey goats. Y'all want a little update on Ruth's baby boy? Look at that handsome dude. He is so stinking cute and huge. He's now bigger than like all the other baby goats, even the ones that are 6 weeks older than him. Oh, there you are. I was going looking for you, little mister. I couldn't find Coco. There he is. It's about time for him to be separated before he starts making lovey eyes at his mother or sisters. Are you gonna behave? You little sweet angel. So we are discussing the possibility of keeping Ruth's little boy, who I have been calling John Boy because of his little mole on his cheek. He is extremely adorable. However, Jeremiah and I have talked about this. If we do keep him, he's gonna have to be weathered. He is a massive, massive goat. And that might even out. He might not end up growing up to be a massive goat, but he comes out of Ruth, whose mom, Nestle, is one of the biggest Nubians I've ever had. His dad was Thorin Oakenshield, who was one of the biggest Nubians I've ever seen. And Ruth's dad was Christopher Walken, the Saanen, who comes from very large bloodlines. And I don't think that keeping him to breed to my other Nubians, many of which are kind of small framed, would be responsible. Because this year, my does struggled with their kids that were from Thorin. Some of them really struggled, and I had to aid, not a lot, but I had to aid more goat births this year than I ever have, because they were just big kids, because his genetics were so big. And that's kind of why I was really planning on keeping Mac to have a son of Thorin, because his mom was B and she was small. And so I'm hoping that Mac may be a little on the smaller side. I don't know. We'll wait and see, but if we do end up keeping little John Boy, he's not going to be making any babies on my farm, because I don't want them to be too much for my does to handle. I still don't have bottles, guys. Hate to disappoint. They saw me afresh and came running like, now do you have some food for me? What is up with this goat drama?
Act like a little baby child.
Are you running like a baby nest?
I'm gonna run sideways. She's like, oh, I better stop.
She's acting like she's having to get her pecking order back in order.
Yeah, because she's been separated.
Because she's not been with them. Because we had all of the mamas who were milking next door, and we just put them all back together. I don't know, I think she missed Mags. She's loving on her. Or maybe that's a dominance conversation, I don't know. Look at them all bristled up. What do you think, John boy? No baby making for you. Dude, God, he's massive. That's not your mama. You tell him, Anna. That's my milk. That's not your mama. He's so handsome. Bottle babies are incessantly hungry. Well, guys, I've got dinner plans with a friend of mine. Thank you for hanging out with me today. It looks like the garden, for the most part, fared very well, and I hope yours did the same. God bless you. Until next time.